Hillary Clinton once said, "Women are the largest untapped reservoir of talent in the world." The quote highlights the immense potential and creativity of women, which remains largely underutilized. It emphasizes the need to recognize and harness this talent to drive progress and innovation. Kuzambula, I'm Tunizuk Selden, and you're watching Her Story, coming to you from the beautiful and stylish Home Basics. Today on Her Story, we are thrilled to welcome a trailblazing designer who has made a remarkable impact in Bhutan. Known for her unique blend of traditional Bhutanese aesthetics with contemporary fashion, she's rapidly expanding her business even outside of Bhutan. I'm pleased to be able to have on the show Chandrika, the designer of CDK. Hello and welcome. First of all, you just got back to the country. How does it feel to be back?
Oh, it's like, so like it's home, like you don't know what home is, so there's no words like that.
How long are you coming back after now?
It's 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah.
So you have been outside of Bhutan, particularly in Melbourne, right?
Yeah.
So how has the whole Melbourne experience been for you?
It was very exciting from like when it was beginning, but there was struggle, and with this struggle I always felt like it's a learning for me. So I always took it very positive to search my passion and some opportunities, and I met wonderful people on the way. Yeah.
It was 8 years ago when you started designing. Well, how did you get into designing?
Yeah, it was like longer before than 8 years. When I was studying in class 10 from in a very remote place. I studied in Rukupchi, and even I studied in Samtegang. There, like we didn't have electricity and road, but it was so inspiring for me to create something. But I didn't know it was fashion, so I was creating something. I was very good at sketch, and then I wanted to study sketch in Zuruk. And I asked my mom and dad, and they were like, "No, you have to go further studies." And then I studied information technology, and then I worked in bank for 6 years. And there I realized, like in between, I used to create like things for my friends, for myself, and it was like very inner, like natural instinct that it was not very hard for me to create anything from anywhere, from the scratch. And then I resigned from bank. Like I didn't tell my mom, I didn't tell anyone. So because I knew, like I wanted to first make myself happy, and if I make myself happy, then only I'm going to make other people happy. Because I experienced in bank, like I was not making people happy, and not customers were not happy. I was not happy. The manager was not happy. But we have to do something, Then I just started studying drafting and pattern making from internet, and then luckily, it's like so. Like in my life, I think it's all calling. I would say, and I saw a advertisement from Minister of Trade saying like there is a designing course who wants to attend, and then I studied in Fashion Institute of Design in Ahmedabad. Then from there I had a very clear vision for what I wanted to do. Then I started from the home, and like I employed one weaver and one seamstress, and there people at that time, like people used to do, the old designers, like senior designers, they used to do only fashion shows, but not employing someone, not as a career basis, but a fashion show. And then like there was no outlet like that. I saw there was a void in the market, so I wanted to fill like those like void as a contemporary artist. And then there was appreciation from Gilson, King, and like a lot of royal families. Then I started. I did one exhibition in Royal Textile Academy. Then then things started moving, and I had a store. So I started thinking as an entrepreneur and also a creative. So how to go parallel on that thing. So yeah.
Wow. So you set out on this journey pretty late, because you were already studying something else. Then you had if you can call it a career, you were, what were you working as in the bank?
IT officer.
IT officer, and this was not fulfilling for you. Do you ever regret, do you ever think back, where if I had started earlier, had I known and invested time in designing, I would have been much bigger, much sooner?
Sometimes I feel, but I also, feel very good that I had an experience of, in the bank, like the people that I learned from and those things. I take everything, I think like it's a learning. And if I have studied fashion, and then maybe like I would have taken granted, and then the learning wouldn't be this challenging, and then that thriving thing. Now every day I feel like it's learning, and then that's I think the best part, that I'm not studying, but I'm studying every day about fashion and environment, the community, and those things. Yeah, if I was already I think I would have maybe be so granted. And then
You were already doing so well in Bhutan. What made you feel like I have to move out of Bhutan, and you moved to Melbourne in Australia? Was this the pressure you felt because everybody else was moving to Australia, or was there another purpose for that move?
I was there in Australia in 2019 to study fashion entrepreneur there for a few months, organized by Australian Awards. And when I came there, I never had feeling that I will ever go back, that thing. But because of the COVID and so many things, and like, to be very personal, like I had more than 40 weavers that I was working, before COVID, and I was pregnant, and COVID happened, and then things were not working, and overnight I had to think, like, I have to do something, I have to let some woman go, and it was so painful for me. And I just started like giving prioritizing to vulnerable ones, like single mothers. Then I was going very deep in my passion, like I was doing business, of course, but I was also more into a community. So at some point I felt like if I stay here, maybe I can't employ those single mothers. So I have to go beyond. What is this just the beyond? Is this just the opportunity? Is this the end of the career? I just felt like that, and I have to search for the opportunity beyond, beyond what it is. And also I was ready, I was ready to take any risks, and I just shared that with my partner, and then he was like so supporting, like always. Like without him, I think I wouldn't be here. So that's how I felt, and also like. That was also a calling, the situation, I would say. And also I was so disappointed with what was happening. Like you can see a Tego, that is all like I introduced that one, and then just like I gave the name Pesar Tego, and then I worked with one weaver in Semthoka, like we were working on it, and then like now you can see like viral everywhere. And then one point in COVID, one of the weavers said like, Madam Anira Anjam Chilishum Jome on Mingachi Sura Sogovesite. So I was like, if one of my idea can sustain someone, so I think that's a huge responsibility for me. So and I was ready for that, but still I was there was lacking in the market. I was so helpless, and like what was happening. And then some very senior textile business people, they said like, design so that thing, that type of thinking, and I was very disheartened, and then but I was so helpless. So I just thought like, I think I am ready for international, and then I'm ready for the struggle that I'm going to face. Yeah.
Did it bother you, by the way, that your style, your design was getting replicated? It sounds like you took it very positively. You felt like this was an influence, this was a power that you had.
At first, I felt like it was so disheartening for me. But later, when I thought like, I already have so many designs, like what's it, just one design, and then I still have 11 designs that I didn't publish till now, because I wanted to be ready, and then I asked for financial help, and there was no help, because if I wanted to do copyright, just to do a copyright, and if I can produce only 10 pieces, that was like useless. So I wanted to go for, you know, scaling up. My business was in a stage of scaling up rather than as like, you know, startup like that. And every when I went for the startup meeting and all, I always felt I was ahead of them, you know. So like that was what happening, and I was so much you know, with the forecasting thing, like, you know, what we can do in the fashion, sustainable fashion thing, but still we were like in one point, like still in one point, we couldn't move forward. So it was everything, I think everything happens for good. Yeah.
So you went to Melbourne with really big dreams,
Yeah.
big responsibilities on your shoulders. You get to Melbourne, what unraveled? What was the reality?
Yeah, when I went there, my things didn't arrive on time.
What do you mean your things?
Things
you've shipped?
Yeah, shipped, and it didn't arrive on time, and then I couldn't show my thing, you know, like to people like whom I was talking, and then like I had to find job, and then I found one job. It was disability, like I had to teach craft to disability, and this is one thing I really wanted to do in Bhutan also, like, you know, like as a visiting staff, I wanted to like do like that. I think I'm like too much into community like that. I was then connected with the community there, but still I feel like I can do better than this, just not end of it, you know. So my dream was like not to have a job there and then settle. This was not me. Otherwise, I would rather stay back and then, you know, like I was doing better than going there and then just like doing one job. So I was not happy at all. Though I was helping the community also, like it was a good earning and learning. But once I had my things in Melbourne, then I was already prepared for the markets and the pop-up places. I met many people like whom to approach, but it was not so easy to, you know, get into the system, the new system. So it was very hard for me, like sometime like when I was staying in my pop-up alone, and then my eyes would literally, you know, filled with my tears, you know, and then is it worth that kind of, you know, those feelings would come. But also there was a thriving thing, like, you know, these are all learning. I'm going to go somewhere else, like, you know, I'm going to reach somewhere else. I always had that, and that I think that was some natural or, you know, natural instinct, I feel. And I met many people like boutique people, and then even the market people. Market started saying like, oh, you're too good for the market, that things, because I started sharing like how I work, my practice of working, you know, with the woman, and like environmentally conscious, those things. So then I started meeting people, and I'm working with one NGO there, one lady who is going to come here. So we're going to have a project. Those things, you know, it was very hard for me to get inside the market, but also worth it. So I met many good people, like National Gallery curator who said like, oh, you should do this, that, and then we started connecting, and then I'm applying for Melbourne Design Week. So those things, you know, it was not easy though, like, you know, when I say, and without knowing any knowledge there, and knowing no one, like if I knew Buddhist people, they didn't know anything about creative things, and I literally like felt so, you know, helpless, like when I saw some of my friends, artist friend, like giving up the artist career, and then they were doing other job, you know, like it was so painful for me. Then I just felt like it's my responsibility from my country, that if I do something good, so there is hope for other people, no, like just not come there to like do job, but there are other things that we can do, your capability, and then go for your, you know, passion, like that. So that was like all learning from the situation.
And then I believe now the situation's a little different. Now you feel a little more confident. Tell me about that.
For me, I went there for a CDK, you know, but when I was there, I feel like I was like where I was from, you know, that the place where I was from, that was like so much attached to me, and then I felt national responsibility, those things, and not only for my weavers like that, but as like, you know, I'm there as Bhutanese from Bhutan, so I was sharing Bhutanese story to them, and then how we work, and then those Bhutanese practice, and how I try to blend our tradition Bhutanese textile into a contemporary to preserve, you know, those things. And like it was a whole learning for me in terms of responsibilities, you know, and I felt at one time like if I fail, my country is going to fail. That kind of feeling, it was pushing me, you know, and those kind of push, I think in my life, it's like making me go forward. So I really like, I don't take it as a struggle or like that. I always take it as a opportunity and, you know, learning. Yeah.
You've already mentioned some, what were some challenges?
Yeah, there were lots of challenges because I met lots of local designers there, and I felt like we are lacking so much in Bhutan, like, you know, like in the sense of certification, because those people were doing sustainable fashion, of course, and then even I am doing, you know, and then but they had certificates like sustainable and ethical fashion, whatever, like, you know, but I couldn't produce. So it was so hard for me to, you know, like, though I was in the terms of, you know, the material and the cultural aspect, I was doing better than them, you know. It was like mine was the very authentic things. They were doing cotton, but like mass, very less production, and they would say sustainable like that, because it's not mass like that. But I was doing it so like in very vast thing, but I had no certificate to provide. So these were like so many things that I struggled, and that's what, like, I feel so privileged to now talk with the AG, like industry in Bhutan, that what we can do, what we have to do for future, and what is the forecast for craftsmanship, sustainable fashion like that. And there are so many things to do, and we are capable of it, and like which market to target and what kind of products, you know, those things. So, and also some financial understanding, like when someone is applying for financial help, there is no one from the bank to forecast the fashion. Like you know, you are building a building, and then there is architect who can forecast like that. But if I want to do a fashion brand that I have forecast for 10 years, there is no one to, like, those things I could understand when they didn't apply, they didn't approve my, you know, that financial you know, projects and all. So that's why I had to go myself to Australia and then just go for it. So yeah.
So how'd you overcome, like, especially with the certification? It must have been so difficult.
It was, so I just lost it. I just lost the opportunity, but there are so many opportunities there, like you're overwhelmed sometimes. So there are some government opportunities where artists can come there and then just show their product, and you know, those kind of. So I'm going to have exhibitions there and also talk about it. So that will be a very good opportunity for me and for Bhutan. I feel like that, yeah.
I believe, CDK, now the situation has changed a little bit. There is someone, I don't know if I'm using the right term, but guiding you and opening you to the fashion industry in Melbourne. Am I right?
Actually, there was an offer from embassy saying that we need designer. Yeah, Bhutanese embassy saying that we want a designer to represent Bhutan, and then they called me, and then I was so excited. You know, the things, I think the things were happening like meant to be happening like that. And then I started working with them, and I'm going to have a fashion show in October in Sydney. And then I met a royal consulate there in Sydney, and she wanted to meet me, and then I went to Sydney. We talked about like what is the scenario of fashion in Bhutan and what was it and what's going to be, because I have done some research with the UNDP in Bhutan, so they have done very beautiful things, like the forecasting, but I think it's too long to wait for me because of my age and and my knowledge, like what I have learned from bit to bit, like it's through my learning, it's not the education that I had, but then I felt we have some connection. Even she was so like inspired, and I was inspired by her. Like she was so much into Bhutanese thing, and then she wanted to learn, and she is also learning Sashop. But there is one Sashop teacher who calls her, and in 1 week she learns 1 hour. So that's that hard thing, and I think it was so much Bhutanese thing, and then like it's just like, oh my God, you have like you need to meet the right people, and then she said like. We will make some appointments, and then I met with the appointments like those high-end boutique owners, and also the magazine like Vogue and other thing. So I'm going to have a pop-up in Sydney in this after I go from here, right after I go from here. So I think that will be a turning point for CDK and also for Bhutan. Like I would always say like now, not CDK, it's from Bhutan. So that's my thing, and it's such a it's sentimental for me, like to share also.
I see. CDK, and you're back in Bhutan for only a month?
Yeah.
What are you here for?
So I'll be working with my team about the collection that we are going to do, and also the online thing, and that I already have online, but I wanted to, now I'm targeting the very high-end customers. So that high-end client and the website, everything, I think it has to go like parallel. So I'm still not happy with my website, so I really want to like polish, and also I want to like share and work with my staff, and I want to like make them, I want to upgrade with what we were doing in a better version. So yeah.
Talking about those women that you've left here, and are they still with you now?
Yeah, and then in this program I would love to thank them a lot. Like they trusted me, and even my staff, they trusted a lot. We were so much into online conversation. So I would be in, and then I would be in the shop talking with people, and then right after the shop I would work with my team in Bhutan. So like it was very hard for me to adopt those system, but now I think I'm like, okay, now I know like after 3 from there, so it starts here. So like till 2 hours or 3 hours I can just work with my staff, and then they were so good with the response, and otherwise like how laid back we are, like, but they were like so much into that, and I really appreciate what they have done. Yeah.
Wow. And how many women are there
now? We just work with 18 weavers, and I have a master weaver in my studio, and I have 4 seamstress and designer.
You also said you have only released 1 design, and then there's 11 more?
Yeah.
So what are you planning to do with that?
So I have a project like proposal on how to how to launch that one, but I just wanted a right time, and I also submitted that to Bhutan Foundation, but I think they I was not selected that time. So I think better opportunity is coming, and I think I would say it's really going to change the market, because just that one tego that I have designed, I think now people have started designing with embroidery, other thing, now they are looking into tego, the product. Tego is a product, so that is what I wanted to hit in Bhutan, because we say like it's all hand-woven ngachiki and we are promoting all Japanese and then Chinese silk or whatever like that. When we can weave our own akira and to go, why not tego? I just felt like that, like it's a complete whole look, and then maybe later in future we'll work with the Onju, and there are so many things to get inspired by our own things, own national dress, and make it very authentic, like it's from Bhutan, like it's not brought somewhere and then then stitched here, and then we see that it's like from the base. So that is my belief. Like that's how I wanted to like pass message on the Tego innovation that I did. So of course there were lots of Tego before, like woven Tego, but to give a new look and how now people get inspired, and I think that's a plus point for me too. Yeah.
You became a designer when there was not an example to look at in the country. What advice would you give to the younger ones who can now look up to a Bhutanese designer and be like, hey, I want to be the next Chandrika?
Yeah, I think I feel now I'm ready to say this one. Before I was learning and rectifying thing. I think for the upcoming designers, I think it's very important to stick to our own roots and make it very Bhutanese, not from Ladakh, not from Tibet, because we are from a same region. Yeah, and when I look to Bhutan, so I like not only me but other people, we look for that region, like Mongolia, we have that region. But how can we become Bhutanese as a different, that look, Bhutanese look? So that is what we have a capacity to build, and nobody has touched that opportunity. So we have so much opportunity for the young designers. And if for me, I just feel like if I build that, just the start one look of Bhutanese thing in high end, so high end fashion, so people can just follow me, like they go what they have done, they go in their own style. So but there has to be someone like who have to start, so I feel I should do, and then I am capable of doing that.
Is there anything else you'd like to share before I go on to the next segment?
I would also like to tell the young designers that when we design, I think it really has to go parallel. Like, of course, when I design, it's my passion, and it has to go parallel with the environment and society, those people. I think because if you are designing something for yourself, but that product is not good for environment, or for if it is harming some producer, like producer means weaver or something, like you're not paying them well, I think you are not making yourself happy. So I think those ethical thing, I think we have to do as a designer also.
To be ethical. The other thing is stick to your roots.
Yeah.
Because you're right. I think it's very important to set this distinction between the other countries and regions surrounding us, and the fact that we have. It's not like we don't. We have our own identity, our unique creations, more, and embracing it. Well, thank you so much. We'll now be moving on to the next shorter segment. Okay.
I would rather fly. I think future. I would say I think we have to make ourselves happy, then we make other people happy. Yeah. My partner and my mom and dad. Yeah. I think right now, because I missed my country, so I would go to Fujiga right now. Just relax, listen to music, and clean, and then just be with my loved ones.
Thank you to our extraordinary guest for sharing her remarkable journey from Bhutan to Melbourne and her unique fusion of traditional and contemporary design. Her story is a testament to the power of creativity and cultural heritage in the global fashion industry. See you next time. Until then, remember your story is a part of a greater narrative of change and progress. So keep writing your own her story. Bye-bye.